So over the last 5 days or so, we've actually had some good rain. This is our total from last night, so 4 mils. That's on top of, I think we're close to 50 mils now for, I'll need 2 hands to put this in. Get a nice close-up of pass there while I slide that into my lovely high-tech rain gauge system here. So we've had about 50 mils now. I just have to add that 4 mils into our Excel spreadsheet and total it up. We've still got these blueberries uncovered just because the birds are really enjoying them. So the fruit fly aren't even having a chance to develop in these just because the birds are eating them before the fruit fly have a chance. I've got these 2 covered. And this morning it's day, I think the 3rd day since I picked, and that's my harvest for today. So nice amount, plus a lemon that fell off during the rain last night. We're just having some renos done to the front, so they've been really good and haven't squished my garden, which is great. I've got my multiplier leeks are multiplying quite well. Just give a zoom. So you can see like all these little, that's the single leek that I put in at the beginning of spring. And you can see all these little ones that have popped up around it. And like, you just get this nice view down there, little focus. Yeah, so you can see how they come up from little bulbs at the base. Just because they are in the onion family. So I've got quite a few bunches of them, which means I should be able to come autumn or whenever I want really. I'll be able to take the thickest ones and use them in cooking, and then I'll be able to replant the smaller ones. The shallots that I planted a while ago, these are the ones I planted from that seedling punnet that I separated. This is still what I have left that we haven't eaten yet. Well, we have eaten, we've just trimmed down, they've regrown. Just like over here, there's some more of those. From these front ones, which were ones that I had trimmed down, I don't know, months and months ago. See all those dead leaves there. I'm just going to harvest that one. It's pretty much had it. It's ready to go into something as a nice onion. Oh, onion-esque. So I've harvested 2 seed heads from those older ones. Oh, there you go. There's the scape that came up. So it's split. So you had one, that bigger one that I just pulled, and then this newer one that's growing. They split and separated. There's another scape that I had from this one here. So I've got those 2 just drying off. Probably pulled one a little bit too early, but I wanted to get it in before the rain. And they're just drying off in a little container so that I can collect the seeds and then hopefully grow from seeds that have developed here on the property, which means that they will be more suited to this environment than their predecessors if they grow. And then of course I can collect seeds from them, and then the more times I collect seeds, the more generations that I have, the better suited to my garden the shallots will be, which means they will grow better, last better, sprout better, theoretically. This is our watermelon, our single watermelon plant that's slowly growing in. Being that we're getting so many fruit flies, I do not hold out hopes for the watermelon. But as the vine gets bigger, I will be searching for flowers to pollinate and to wrap up in cheesecloths so that they don't get stung. We've got our elephant garlic. So this garlic's pretty cool. So got this. Well, this is technically a leek, not a garlic, but it's all part of that alum family. So you can just see this little baby pup that come up from the side there, and this one here that's just starting. So I've been separating these and taking the best ones off so that I can plant them out into little tube stock pots. I will then be planting those out in different sections of the garden. Possibly I'll be planting them over there. Oh, you're out of focus. There you go. I'll be planting them over here in between the capsicums and the eggplants, just because I don't envisage these guys going, I don't think I'll get 2 seasons out of them. If I do, I'll be surprised. But I will also be planting some of the garlic or the leek back up here. Most likely in this section where the watercress is, just to keep it going and seeing if I can get bulbs next year, because I did not get much this year. The compost out here is going really well. I keep adding to it as I chop bits and pieces off the garden. It's got a nice healthy supply of black soldier fly that's breaking everything down. I did add a bucket of chook poo, so about a month's worth of chook poo from our 3 chickens, which isn't a lot. And it's not like all the 3 months, it's just what I could collect from the coop. So 3 months worth of collections in there. And then we've got our new water feature. So this is a wine barrel that we've had for, I don't know, probably almost 10 years now. Just because my partner and I, we do medieval reenactment as a hobby. And when we used to have a group that we were running, we would use this barrel as our group's water barrel. So we had the top cut, and we would line this with food grade plastic, like a plastic bag, fill it with water. It would hold 250 litres for us, and we would be able to drink from that each day, use it for our cooking and our washing up without having to go to and from the taps every day, which was quite frustrating when you've got 20 members to cook for, water and feed. So by having this, it was a lifesaver for us, really, and it looked great in camp. The only thing was transporting it is a bit of a bugger because it's so heavy. But we gave away the group leadership back in at the start of midway through 2020 with COVID, and also because we were wanting to start a family, and I thought, no, I can't do both. I've got enough on my plate. So it's sort of sat in our backyard that whole time. And then I was like, hey, I want to put a bird bath in the front, and I need it up high so that the toddler can't grab it and pull it down on her head. So the wine barrel came in really, really handy. We got a recycled plastic dish that we filled the hole at the bottom. We've then put some larger stones at the bottom, and then some large, you can sort of see the size of these gravels, larger gravel pieces in, and I've sloped it up, as you can see sort of the depth there, and it comes up here, because this way the bees can come down and they will drink from in between the gravel, because they are so small that the surface tension of the water will actually hold them in and drown them. Also, anything that sort of is in here that can get over to these gravels can make their way up the gravel and get out. Quite a few little vinegar flies did not make it last night, but that's okay. Also, we've filled the bottom as well because we don't want it too deep for the birds. It's I don't know, about an inch deep in the middle. That's plenty for birds to be able to bath in, and even smaller birds can sit here on the edge and just jump in and out when they want. So it's nice and safe. I'm Unfortunately, it is up high, so lizards and reptiles can't get in it. But that's why I have these little dishes, once again, filled with gravel and with that slope into the water. And that way, things that fall in can get out and escape. So they're the lower ones that I use around the garden. I've got like 6 or so placed through the front and the back. And that way the animals on the ground that can't climb up into my bird bath can obviously get some water, because this spring has been quite dry already, and we're looking to head into quite a hot summer with gap between the rain events. So even though the rain events are predicted to be quite big and to drop a lot, they're not going to be as frequent, which means it'll dry out quite a lot between each event. We'll get a lot of rain, there'll be some flooding, and then it will dry out again. So having this bird bath as part of the garden is going to be really helpful to our native wildlife. Around this, I've planted some lavenders around there, and I've also planted them on this side here. So eventually these dianthus will be dug up and moved off to the side, as I'm going to put a little pathway in here, just because I've already started using it like a path, so the dirt's already quite compacted. So this way I'm not walking through my garden beds to get my hose to the bottom level when I am hosing, and it gives me a little place to walk through and to step down without having to go all the way back out and around, just because some mornings I do not have the energy or the time to waste doing that. Over here I've got a native grevillea planted in, and I also have a native tea tree or Manuka leptospermum plant, so the native bees quite like the flowers from that, and obviously the birds and the bees love the flowers on the grevillea. And I went with the same type of grevillea that I have over here, which is called coconut ice. Went with that one just so that I get a nice matchy feel in the garden. Oops, almost lost this. As you can see, I've still got some tomato bags out the front. They've done okay. I'm still getting like the green shield bug stinging the fruit, which is a bit annoying. So I've started bagging my flower sets and then using my electric toothbrush to pollinate my tomatoes, just with like the buzz pollination technique. So they are, the electric toothbrush vibrates the back of the tomato flower, making it vibrate quickly. The pollen drops out and fertilizes the tomato bush. I'm just going to drop down here. So I use that technique once they're in the bag, and then that way it reduces the amount of pests that can get in, because the shield bugs are less likely to have already laid eggs. There's a little bugger there. Where is he? Come on, camera, focus. There you go. So they're also they're in the stink bug family, like they spray and it stinks. There's some, where'd they go? Right, there they are. There's some of the nymph stage, so this stage can't fly. These are mostly responsible for the stinging of the tomatoes. And as you can see, possibly through the bag, I've got the flower in there, a couple of flowers, and some tomatoes developing, and no sign of stink bugs or the green shield bugs in the bags. Of course, I was too late to bag these ones, and as you can see, they're already on it. Same with this set here, but I will be able to bag this flower set and buzz pollinate this one, particularly once they've dried out, and hopefully get a bunch of tomatoes from there. This is what the fruit looks like when it's stung and starting to ripen. It's just, they're just ruined. I've got to come in here once this rain's finished and clean up these tomatoes and get them out from the bottom. Also have to trim off all of these leaves, as this will hold mildew and fungus, and it also provides nesting spaces. So if I can have a chance when it's a bit drier to come out here and take all the old leaves off, I will. Will also give me a time to assess which parts of this tomato bush, oh my God, look at them all. There's like 20, 30 there. Like all of those little nymphy ones. Just, ugh. So yeah, the quicker I can get this cleaned up, then I'll be able to see my flowers better. The rosella's doing, oops, knocking my head on the tree here. It's a lovely tree that provides me a bit of shade. I got some rosellas have developed, and I will be picking these, or starting to pick these once it's drier. So we can see this one, these ones here, they're ready to harvest. I got quite a few down in the bottom. So as soon as I have probably about 1 kilo of these ready to harvest, I will, because that can make me up some cordial, and then I can just sit and wait. But I love the flowers. Like, I think they are so pretty with that cream and that pink of the rosella flower, and they're growing quite well. I'll be able to take this shade cloth off these very soon, as my radish and beetroot that I planted underneath have not, well, I got 1, 2, and then I think I got another one. Yep, I got another little one just in there. So they haven't sprouted, so I'm not going to need the protection, and these leaves will provide enough protection for anything underneath them, because they're already providing quite a solid bit of shade. I also have some, there you go, I have some dill sprinkled underneath as well, that were seeds from my dill, so I just like chaos sowed them, so I just chucked them in. Where they grow is where they grow. They're mostly growing over this side, they're not really growing under anywhere else, but that's okay. That gives me some dill to harvest. I've also got my lovely statice flowers. They don't really serve a purpose in the garden except to look pretty, which they're my favorite flower, so I like them. Nothing says you can't plant your favorite flower. And then we got our capsicums, the marigold, which is really struggling. You see that lovely capsicum there, and that's some dill that's grown up as well from, me just chucking dill seeds in, and more of that statice. Now finger eggplants are doing really well. Definitely will try and save some seed and grow again, but I'm not, because these were bought from a punnet, my chances of being able to grow seeds from them are oh, look at you. So this is a Queensland fruit fly. It's a pain in the butt. This is a female. Look at that fat abdomen. She's already laid in my cucumber. So I'm just gonna have to harvest that today, put it in the fridge and eat that for dinner, just so that those eggs don't develop into caterpillars, grubs, caterpillars, I don't know, larvae basically. I'll harvest that today. Got to go through and check under all those. Come on, focus camera. The phone isn't the best videoing tool for me. Yeah, so I've got to check under all those leaves, obviously, as well, trim up some of the older ones once it's dry. Also, you can see our lovely 28 spotted ladybug there, just chilling on that leaf. And another one there, so I've got to come out here and do some hand removal, pest control. Once it stops raining, still predicted to rain later today. I've got some creeping thyme that I'm going to plant in the front, so that way it hangs over the edge of our front retaining wall just like that, which will keep the retaining wall cool and also look really pretty. This is what our front is looking like at the moment. Snapdragons are doing well. Our asparagus is seeds are almost ready to harvest and to start planting into little punnets themselves. And some of this asparagus definitely next season, like this is of a size that I could harvest it now, but I'm just going to leave that. And definitely next year I'll be able to take quite a few spears off. Some more snapdragons, they're so pretty. And we're letting the parsley come to seed as well. Once again, so I can collect seeds, plant them out and have more parsley for next season. You can see, even though we've had 50 mil of rain, this soil here, this basically dirt, like it is dry. It's dry and crumbly. The rain hasn't quite made it to them. So later on I'll have to come out here and give this a hose. And everyone looks at me like I'm crazy because I'm hosing after it rained. And it's like, well, you know, the rain didn't reach where it needed to. So that's our front garden update for mid-November. Yeah, just doing a little bit of filming first thing in the morning. This is sort of also my way of keeping a nice record. I encourage everyone to just film around their garden, talk about what's happening. You can share it if you want to with other people, or just keep it private to yourself to look back on later. But it's a really good way of keeping track of what's going on in your garden, what pests you're finding, what beneficial bugs you're finding, what things you have growing where. It's a lot easier to keep track through a video than it is through just photos. As you can see, we had some hedges. My mum had some hedges trimmed and she brought the leaves over. So these will dry out and create a nice mulch layer over bits of the garden that didn't have any sugarcane mulch. Because we are moving away from any products that we have to buy in. We're really lucky this year. Our compost is ready. So we're able to use our compost 100% in the garden without buying in any soils or composts or mixes. And hopefully with all of our trees getting quite big, as you can see, we will be, and obviously the lemons are getting quite big, we will be able to use the leaves and the branches of the lemons and all our other trees in the garden as mulches without having to buy in extra products, which was one of my goals of starting this garden, was that it'd be fully self-sufficient. It's 2 years behind what I would have preferred, but that's because I went ahead and had a baby and got very sick while I was creating that baby, so I couldn't get out into the garden. But surprise, surprise, look, there's some peas. Oh, quite decent sized peas too, which is a good surprise. These are peas that I had growing back in winter, and this variety, I think it's honey snap or something. This variety I collected seeds from, and I planted some just over spring, thinking, oh yeah, if it grows, it grows. Typically peas in our climate are a winter plant, but I thought, get my harvest basket there, may as well give it a go. They have grown, which is great. Gives us just a couple. Obviously it's not the best, like, you know, it's not a big harvest, but it's enough. Yeah, that's our little front yard garden update. And obviously our elderberry is doing fantastically. Look at all those berries developing and still more flowers. The birds are absolutely loving it. We've got common coral, we've got the Australasian fig bird, we've got noisy miners, we've got lorikeets. There's a couple of others that I haven't quite been able to identify. They're coming in each morning and they're just having an absolute blast eating these berries. Being that they come back every year for more, I'm assuming the berries aren't bad for them. So, oh, rain's starting again. So there you go, record your garden, create your own garden diary. Gives you something to look back on each year to plan your next steps. Enjoy your day.